They've been called aloof, cold, detached, eccentric loners, flowing through life at the beat of their own drum without the need of anyone else's rhythms. But this is a dangerous misconception of the real heartbeat fueling those born under the Aquarius moon. They are far from tone deaf to human emotions. Their odd detachment springs from feeling too deeply for marginalized outcasts and the oppressed voices that society ignores. Their heartbeats throb for humanitarian causes that celebrate the right to freedom. Independence isn't about escaping intimacy for them. It's the oxygen that allows their humanitarian spirits to advocate the loudest for those shoved the furthest out on society's fringes. In today's video, I'm going to talk about the compatibility of an Aquarius moon and what an Aquarius moon really needs to thrive and be happy in a relationship. Aquarius moons do thrive in intimate relationships, but they very often avoid intimate relationships because the dynamics within their intimate relationships takes away their freedom. It takes away their ability to pursue their highest calling. Aquarius represents the 11th house of the zodiac. This house represents society, the community, humanitarian causes, bringing many together to focus on one common goal and to improve the world around them. So deep down inside, an Aquarius moon has this driving need to feel like they're making a difference. Where they're making a difference, it doesn't really matter. It could be in their friendship group. It could be in their job. It could be when pursuing their ambition. It could even be being part of some kind of cultural group or just some kind of community group. An Aquarius moon wants to feel like they're making a small difference in the lives of those around them. But the thing is, if they're in a relationship that is restrictive and controlling, they never really get to make this difference. They never really get to feel like they're part of something greater. So in order to make a relationship work with an Aquarius moon, freedom is needed. But I'm not talking the kind of freedom where they must just pursue whatever they want, but the freedom to pursue the connections and the sense of meaning that they need in the world out there. Because if a person's emotional space, which is represented by the moon, is ruled by Aquarius, they see potential and they see value in every single person and every single experience out there. And because of this reason, they're open to many different, strange and odd experiences, as well as interactions with people from all walks of life. Aquarius moons need a tight-knit circle sharing their unique perspectives of life beyond material worlds and conformist rules. They yearn for offbeat communities that get them, soul groups to banter with about conspiracy theories, to protest injustice through radical art, and traveling to ancient sites and studying lost wisdom. Without feeling this sense of belonging, this anchoring in tribe, even the most free-spirited Aquarian moon grows desperately unmoored, adrift in meaningless routines. They need authentic purpose interweaving through their relationships, careers, and causes. An electric pulse of passion making loved ones, not just themselves, feel seen, feel valued, and feel like they belong too. The Aquarius heart beats for independence untamed. But listen closer. Underneath, you'll discover its rhythm provides the courage for the roar, for being voices for those without. Their call to freedom isn't about escaping intimacy. They want to send their humanitarian message out there and shift perspectives and forge bonds that transcend convention. So many might say that Aquarius moons are quite cold and emotionless, but Aquarius moons are actually capable of feeling very deep and complex and compassionate emotions. The thing is that they're so hyper aware of the society around them, of the world around them. They can see the suffering, they can see the injustice. They see the social, the political, and the community issues around them, and they take it to heart. Because of this, they actually have to become quite cold and detached because they're so hyper aware of all these issues within the world around them. So in essence, an Aquarius moon is always looking for a way to solve the injustices around them. How can they help the poor community uplift themselves? How can they help the homeless people develop skills so that they can empower themselves? How can they help the underprivileged kids find opportunities so that they can also thrive and succeed as adults? These are all topics that Aquarius moons think about. However, eccentricity and the whole tinfoil hat stereotype also counts for Aquarius. Aquarius moons can also have very strange concerns about the world and society. Maybe perhaps being super adamant about not having 5G towers around because they're very concerned about the health of the people in their community. Or maybe they're a type of person who's protesting the banning of a certain pesticide in the area because they can actually see how it's impacting the wildlife around them. You might not have to agree with their mission or their beliefs or the ultimate goal, but deep down within them, they know why they're doing it. And they believe in themselves. In essence, to make a relationship work with an Aquarius moon, you need to make them feel loved for who they are, regardless of their strange goals, pursuits, and beliefs. And to also encourage whatever it is that they're passionate about and not limit them. Many think that the key to an Aquarius moon's heart is through intellectual stimulation, and you aren't exactly wrong. But peel back the layers of this air sign and you'll discover a complex terrain of emotional needs and contradictions. Let's start by tackling the two sides of the Aquarian independence. Give them a bird's eye view and they'll soar. Try to lock them in a cage and they may never emotionally recover. They want the freedom to pursue individual friendships, interests, and hobbies without constantly checking in or being questioned. Traditional relationship roles tend to chafe their progressive ideals too. They want equality, though their definition of this can sometimes veer into emotionally avoiding hard work in favor of utopian dreams. When healthy, however, this need for independence breeds extremely open-minded partners. So there's two types of Aquarian moons, and most Aquarian moons start out their life being the first type. The first type is a very unhealed and unaware Aquarian moon, an Aquarian moon who wants the freedom to pursue their ideals, but they're merely only looking at the surface of things. So what I mean by this is they want to make a difference in the lives of others. They want to be the one that connects society. They want to be the one that connects a community, that uplifts a community. But very often the best way for them to do this is through the love and support of a partner. Because yes, even though the Aquarius moons may think that they're so independent and they're so strong on their own, the support from the right type of partner can uplift them beyond heights they've ever imagined. But the issue is Aquarius moon type number 1 avoids attachment, avoids emotional intimacy because a part of their mind thinks that this is going to limit them. They don't see the value of love and care that a supporting partner can give them and how it can actually uplift them. So they're consistently avoiding intimacy, they're consistently avoiding relationships in order to pursue whatever it is they're focusing on. Aquarius moon number 2 recognizes the value of the support of an intimate relationship, but they also recognize that they can only get that type of support from the right type of person. Aquarius moon number 2 has gone through many trials and tribulations in relationships with people where they have discovered their needs in a relationship and they're only willing to be in a relationship with the right type of person who will uplift them. So through this, they're willing to have an intimate connection at the same time while they pursue their goals. It's all really about understanding that not every single person that they're going to be in a relationship with is going to be controlling and limiting. Yes, some people may be, but once the Aquarius moon has worked through their inner child trauma, once they've processed and healed their shadows, they'll stop attracting people that are stifling them in life and will actually attract people that are on the exact same wavelength as them. And once they prevent their fears from limiting them from having intimate relationships, they can have an incredible intimate relationship with a partner. Being open-minded and accepting is super important if you want to be with an Aquarius moon. The reason for this is they might want a very unconventional relationship, the type of relationship that not everyone agrees with. They might be into very weird and wonderful topics, and if they're not able to discuss this with you, they're going to be incredibly bored. The water of an Aquarius moon runs deep, despite their friendly and often light-hearted exterior. Their detachment isn't real. It's a barrier they put up as a defense against messy emotions that they prefer to compartmentalize so as to not disturb their intellectual adventures. The ideal partners for them must have the patience and confidence to weather those aloof periods with grace. They want partners who appreciate their quirky side rather than finding it threatening and odd. It's also imperative to understand that their odd and eccentric interests aren't outlandish to them, so being mocked or brushed off cuts them deeply. They yearn for someone who really gets them without judgment. I've noticed Aquarius moons can have really radical ideas and ideals. It can often be very difficult to take those ideas and ideals seriously if you're not on the same page as them. But it's important to understand that to an Aquarius moon, what they believe is very real and legitimate to them. And it's actually not odd and strange to them at all. It's part of their reality. It's part of their beliefs. It's part of what they live. So when you ridicule them for their beliefs or for their ideals, you're really hurting them. You're really causing a lot of pain. To have a healthy relationship with them, complete acceptance of who they are and what they believe is required. What I've noticed in relationship dynamics with Aquarius moons is they can have some beliefs about relationships that their partner doesn't believe in or feels uncomfortable with. So finding a level ground in getting their partner on board with their beliefs, but also not pressuring their partner into adopting their beliefs is very important. Sometimes it can be very hard for Aquarius moons because the person that they choose to be with does not want to come to the table with regard to what they believe, and that is something they have to accept. Mental stimulation is like oxygen for an Aquarius moon. They have endless galaxies and universes swirling through their minds, and nothing thrills them more than a partner meeting them toe-to-toe in debates about the nature of existence or dissecting the latest conspiracy theory. They pride themselves in considering all perspectives, playing the devil's advocate just for fun. But scratch below this detached intellectual armor and you'll discover huge wells of compassion. Their humanitarian hearts beat for the marginalized and oppressed. Be prepared for them to float ambitious ideas and solutions past you late into the night. If you shoot them down as unrealistic without consideration, you will lose hours of intimacy. You don't have to agree outright, but engage thoughtfully and help them refine their mental models. When it comes to friendships and hobbies, an Aquarius moon feels constrained very easy, and their reactions can seem cold or distant when limits are placed on their freedom. They pride themselves on impartiality, on loving all their companions equally. Whether it's an old childhood buddy or a new coworker, respect this egalitarian web of diverse relationships that they have. Don't demand time that hasn't been offered to you willingly. Yet, don't mistake their detachment for disinterest either. Let them share at their own pace the vulnerable sides of themselves, often reserved for tried and true confidants. I've noticed a lot of people get very frustrated in a relationship with an Aquarius moon because they feel like they're not very important to them. They feel like the Aquarius moon sees them as a friend. They can also feel like the Aquarius moon treats them just like they treat everyone else. An interesting thing to mention is Aquarius is the opposite sign of Leo. What does Leo represent? If you think of a lion, they have their tribe and they're super loyal to their tribe. Any other lion that tries to mess with their tribe or interfere with their tribe will likely get attacked. However, Aquarius represents the opposite of this. Aquarius is loyal to humanity. So often this means that they cannot form one set of loyalty to one person, but they have it to many. This doesn't mean that they're going to cheat on you and lie to you. But what I mean by this is that they will prioritize their relationships and their duties and their interactions with other people just as much as they prioritize their interactions and relationship with you. They won't put you above others. You're going to be on the same level as everyone else. However, this does not mean that you're not special to them. So if you want to be in a relationship with an Aquarius moon, you need to be okay with them giving other people a lot of time, giving other people a lot of focus. And you need to be healed enough to not take this personally and to know that they still love you, but they just have a much greater purpose out there than your relationship alone. So Aquarius moons are not the biggest fans of traditional expectations and gender roles in relationship, but that doesn't mean that they don't crave devoted bonds. An Aquarius moon secretly yearns for someone steadfast by their side as they traverse a maze of eclectic interests and friend groups. The key is allowing them space to be themselves without judgment. Don't require that their time be filled purely with coupled nights, and blend with their existing rhythms seamlessly instead. Never demand more emotional availability from them that they can give. At the end of the day, all an Aquarius moon really needs is to feel genuinely understood and accepted completely as they are, oddities and detachment and all. So the heart of the reality here is that if you are a controlling, jealous, and possessive person and you want to be in a relationship with an Aquarius moon, it simply is not going to work. Do your healing first. Confront your shadows. Enter into a space where you're okay with a person being their authentic self and pursuing their purpose and not having it be a threat to your relationship. My personal experience with Aquarius moons who are in relationships is that the ideal sort of partner for them is generally quite easygoing. This person doesn't necessarily have to like to socialize, but this person must be willing to allow people that they don't know into their space, because the Aquarius moon is going to meet and bring a lot of interesting people back home for dinner and tea. And essentially, the ideal type of partner for the Aquarius moon is the type of person who's going to welcome their friends with a smile, welcome them into their home, and make them feel comfortable. The ideal partner for an Aquarius moon doesn't make it challenging and difficult to have friendships with others and to meet other people and to make these people part of their lives. So let me go through each moon sign in the zodiac and tell you what the compatibility is like with an Aquarius moon. Firstly, we have Aries moon. Aries matches Aquarius's independence streak. Both chafe against restrictive bonds and crave autonomy. However, the Aries impulse to vocalize anger clashes with the Aquarius's tendency to detach and isolate when overwhelmed. Aries desires passionate, fiery devotion from partners, while Aquarius struggles providing constant emotional availability. For this pairing to last, Aries needs to give Aquarius plenty of space, while the Aquarius must make more efforts towards more consistent vulnerability in the relationship. Next, we have Taurus moon. So initially, the Taurus moon seems like a really unlikely fit for Aquarius. They're very grounded and they need a lot of stability. However, if Aquarius feels that they have enough creative breadth to roam untethered into unconventional realms, Taurus provides a wonderful grounded support for them. They both share a devotion towards loyal companionship that outsiders may not really comprehend. The routine craving Taurus will have to accept how Aquarius can't really be penned down and is very spontaneous. Taurus must also avoid smothering Aquarius with too many demands for traditional acts of service or even touchy-feely gestures. Gemini moon. Gemini shares Aquarius's eternal curiosity about obscure topics that others gloss over as too weird or fringy, and they make incredible intellectual playmates. As long as Gemini has enough kindred spirits in their social circle to chat with frequently so that they can avoid restlessness, an Aquarius moon's periodic need for reclusive alone time isn't taken too personally. Both signs understand the need for autonomy and loathe boring relationship routines. By continuously supplying each other with adventures, probing into deep conversations, and giving each other mutual space, this air sign combination can actually work really, really well and is very compatible. Next up is Cancer moon. Cancers desire warm cuddles, handwritten love notes, and soothing meals together, while Aquarians struggle to provide traditional acts of service. Cancers can interpret the Aquarian need for alone time and having outside friendships as withholding affection, which brews jealousy and resentment over time. The Cancer has a desire for the Aquarius's inner world to be an open book, and this clashes with Aquarius's proclivity for compartmentalizing feelings behind walls, needing solidarity processing time. Success in this relationships requires the Cancer moon to not smother the Aquarius moon with too many demands. They also mustn't take the Aquarius's aloofness too personally. Leo moon. Leo craves devoted admiration from their partner, and Aquarius struggles with consistent emotional availability between their detached spirits and outside friendships. Leo's loyalty and desire to be the number one in their lover's eyes gets challenged by Aquarius's ruling planet Uranus that demands complete autonomy. Aquarius moons intellectually analyze their feelings behind closed doors, while extroverted Leos wear their hearts on their sleeve, seeking affection openly. For this pairing to work, Leo needs to rein in jealousy over outside demands on Aquarius's time and nurture their own vibrant inner life. Meanwhile, the Aquarius must consciously carve out dedicated quality time for romantic getaways and adventures that make Leo feel cherished. Virgo moon. Virgo and Aquarius moons may seem like opposites, but their shared intelligence and passion for questioning the status quo bonds them deeply. Both analyze emotions from wide-view sociological angles rather than simply reacting based on feelings. Conversations between them pulse electric with insight and intellectual curiosity. However, the detail-obsessed Virgo must give the Aquarius moon ample room for eccentric risk-taking without micromanaging their unconventional approaches. These two signs merging their lives requires communicating mental needs clearly before emotions overwhelm them. But when provided the space to truly be themselves in this relationship, Virgo and Aquarius moons unlock marvelous adventures together that most people cannot understand. Libra moon. Libra's balanced perspective innately gets Aquarius's out-of-box worldview. Libra asks intelligent yet non-judgmental questions about Aquarius's unusual ideas that make them feel truly heard. In turn, Libras feel comfortable exposing their own quirky side, usually hidden beneath their well-put-together manners. The biggest challenge in this relationship arises when Libras strive to constantly compromise and avoid conflict, lets real problems simmer beneath the surface so as to not ruffle the Aquarius's feathers. But clear communication conquers all, and with understanding, these two moon signs can have a very mentally stimulating relationship that is incredibly compatible. Scorpio moon. Scorpio and Aquarius moon clash on fundamental emotional levels, making long-term harmony very difficult. However, I have noticed that if a Scorpio moon is very healed, they can make a relationship with Aquarius moon work quite easily. Scorpio craves exclusive intimacy, along with knowing their partner's innermost thoughts and feelings to feel secure. Scorpio probes with intensely personal questions too early, making Aquarius instinctively recoil further into their shielded inner sanctum. The Aquarius impulse to analyzing feelings before articulating them can also frustrate Scorpios. Aquarius can feel suffocated by the Scorpio's brooding possessiveness and controlling tendencies once the honeymoon period wanes in this connection. To make this work, Scorpio needs to redirect their demands for vulnerability into less intrusive ventures. In turn, Aquarius must consciously share more of their inner world to reassure the highly sensitive Scorpio's doubting heart. Sagittarius moon. Aquarius and Sagittarius initially bond over shared oddball interests and adventures. They both pride themselves on independence, and they love being free-spirited explorers who loathe possessive partners or boring routines. However, Sagittarius express emotions more directly, whereas Aquarius compartmentalizes their feelings and they need much more private processing time. As the relationship deepens, Sagittarius desires more affirmation and devotion than Aquarius can really provide. Jealousy can arise when Aquarius spends long time socializing with other people. For this pairing to work, Sagittarius needs to design their own vibrant life, resisting urges to limit Aquarius's autonomy. Meanwhile, the Aquarius must stretch beyond their aloof boundaries as an act of love to reassure the Sagittarius's wandering hearts. Capricorn moon. On the surface, Capricorn and Aquarius make an odd matching. But look closer and you'll find two souls who connect through their bigger picture perspectives and humanitarian ethics. They want their lives imbued with meaning beyond the mundane. Capricorn provides grounded stability that Aquarius secretly relies on between their flights of inspired vision and adventures. When trouble brews, however, Capricorn can lean towards criticizing Aquarius's unusual lifestyle, the unusual hours, the scattered organization, the oddball friends. However, Aquarius rebels really hard when feeling contained. Capricorn must learn to offer insights gently while respecting Aquarius's unusual rhythms. Aquarius moon. When two Aquarius moons discover each other, they instantly recognize a kindred spirit. Someone who intrinsically understands their quirky interests, their need for periodic alone time to process emotions behind the cool facade, and the restless, innovative spirit within them that is uncomfortable with anything conventional or boring. They give each other plenty of space for friendships and solo quests without making irrational emotional demands. Together they feel safe being their true weird selves without fear or judgment, exploring the endless strange horizons that fascinate them. Twin Aquarian moons provide the ultimate experience of coming home to a partner. And last but not least, Pisces moon. Pisces feels an instant soulful connection with Aquarius initially. Their psychic abilities can pick up on the gentle empathy beneath the Aquarius's aloof exterior. However, in the long run, Pisces craves deeper romantic gestures and emotional intimacy that Aquarius struggles to manifest consistently. And also, the Pisces' tendency towards magical thinking clashes with the logic-ruled Aquarius. To make this work, Aquarius must offer more concrete acts of devotion, while Pisces must avoid emotionally retreating out of feeling rejected. It is through being able to have a strong, intimate connection with a partner, as well as being able to make a difference in the lives of many, that an Aquarius moon finds their true calling. However, when an Aquarius moon only focuses on one side, whether it be an intimate relationship or whether it be the people around them, they do not have the full spectrum of awareness and support they need to actualize their goals. So if you're an Aquarius moon, find yourself a partner who has enough understanding and compassion in their heart to understand your purpose and to not be threatened by it. This is my video on the Aquarius moon compatibility. If you enjoyed this moon, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments what you thought of it. Are you an Aquarius moon and can you agree with what I've said? Are you dating an Aquarius moon and have you dealt with a lot of the issues that I've mentioned? Subscribe to my channel if you have not already, and check the links in the description to this video to see my website and socials and to connect with me and see what I've been up to. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.